What is up guys, it's a familiar guy again, myself, Adrian the Icon, and today I'm here bringing you a recap of a tournament over the past weekend featuring our Csgo team competing in the Csgo Fight Night. Overall, the tournament was a success for the team. Even though we didn't become champions, which was our ultimate goal, we were still able to come out with a podium finish with third place. Despite the number of solid teams involved in the competition, this was a win, and the team definitely showed how good they are in this tournament. I'm sure they are definitely even looking back to see how they can keep going even further in the future, because in this tournament it was believed that the team was seeded 16th. Yes, 16th, the last seed, the bottom of all teams, but they flipped that switch for sure. The tournament featured 16 European teams and some familiar teams we faced up against the past before this tournament, such as our UK rivals CEX Esports from the ESL UK Premiership, and also some other familiar faces from the ESCA Advanced League, such as Diffuse and many more. So how did the tournament go and what was the team's progress? Find out. So here we are in winners bracket round 1. We faced off against one of the top tier French teams, LDLC. Game 1 was close, finishing with us winning 16-14. This game was a great opener between us two teams in this series. As the first part of the game, we managed to completely dominate. We would be winning rounds with every player still alive, with the worst case of one player only dying. Still, even after 5 rounds, things remained the same thing and it continued to be firm. It wasn't until the 8th round where LDLC were able to win a first round in the game finally. Even after we were able to break the form straight away, answering them back with a straight win. We managed to reach the 10th round win, having a lead of 8 rounds, looking very convincing at this point. However, this is when the game started to change. We started to lose a bit of grip closing out the game. Along with LDLC being heavily determined to turn the game around, they managed to start getting more and more into the game, getting a 5th round win, closing the gap from being 8 down to now 5. However, still we were able to increase the advantage back up to 7 rounds ahead, leading 15-8 with only one more round to take the first game. LDLC still managed to bring it back, closing the gap to just 1 round. Yes, that was a great comeback for them, I have to give it to them. This was crazy, but the team still managed to close out the game, which was the most important thing, and get the win thanks to Csgo for closing the game down after LDLC's last player managed to kill 2 of our players in the 3v1, but the numbers happened to be too strong and were in our advantage. After taking the first game, we had the lead in the series, which then became a tie after us losing game 2 16-9. With us losing, this forced a game 3. Winner of this game takes the best of 3 series and advances even further into the winners bracket, having a double lifeline, whilst the loser will be on their last remaining chance. The boys managed to pull a win in game 3, winning the game 16-10. The start was smooth as we cruised through the first 3 rounds, dominating, going super aggressive. We were able to extend and push this lead out and reach 5 rounds before LDLC managed to get in the game and win their first round of the match. With the score being 5-1, eventually as the game led further and further, we looked more comfortable and eager to take this 3rd game. Csgo managed to pull a double and Brody closed with the exact same footsteps as he did to take this round and force the scoreline 10-4. The advantage remained comfortable for us and the team was able to maintain all the pressure. Csgo and LNZ managed to win a clutch 2v3 using smokes and angle of sight to a high depth in the last round for us to win the game 16-10. I guess they must have read our article about CSGO smoke grenades, because they just showed us then exactly how it's done. After our victory in round 1, we matched Navy Youth in the second round of the upper bracket after they won their series 2-0 against August 5, playing less games than us. Game 1, the first of this series, we managed to get a convincing 16-7, repeating what was done in the first series, but this time however the team managed to get the job done a lot quicker. That would be the best way to describe it. Game 2 in the series was completely one-sided though, as we only took one round, losing the game 16-1. However, in Game 3 we were able to stop them on a halfway mark and get a victory of 16-8. Winning round 2 put us into round 3, but at this point, with both our previous being 2-1, we had played a total of 6 games at this point. I would say it did work in our favour due to heavily staying warm. And at this point it was now time for us to play Cyber Legacy, who had won both their series 2-0, playing a total of 4 matches. Having more matches in this case did prove to be more of a weighing. Game 1 was heavily close, but Cyber Legacy were able to win with us losing 16-14. So with us being down by 1 in the best of 3 series for the first time in this tournament, we were able to still respond back and win game 2, but this was also a close game just like the first. This time the scoreline finished in our favour of 16-12. We managed to get up to 5 at the start of the game, showing the strong starts that had been shown in previous series against the other teams. Tadpole and Csgo closed out the round. This continued up to round 8, which we managed to have a lead of 8-0 approaching the halfway mark so quick, with Cyber Legacy still on the start line. Ping was there and ready to play off Tadpole's battle, not even letting Cyber breathe or get into the game. As the game went on, Cyber Legacy did manage to find their feet in closing the gap from being down 8 to only being down by 4, but we still managed to close out the game with Csgo, LNZ and Ping all winning vital battles to tie up the series 1-1, forcing a game-breaking Game 3. In Game 3 we conceded the first round but won the next 5 rounds after making the scoreline 5-1 at the start of the game. The domination continued even up to the point where we scored 10 rounds. Getting the 10th round win was super satisfying after Csgo dished out a nasty no-scope out of nowhere. This game the team was fully determined and even more hungry than before. Tadpole and Ping both were able to shut the game and take the series for us as they approached gunfights with full confidence and knew the series was ours for the taking. And as a result, this win put us in the winners bracket final. With us making the upper bracket final, top 4 was pretty much guaranteed, being one step away from the grand finals, even with still another lifeline of the loser bracket existing for us. However, we were unable to beat the Fuse Kids, but the games were really close and the series score was 2-1. Game 1, the game ended up going into a tiebreaker with us losing 19-16 as both teams traded round for round and took chances in comebacks. Unfortunately though, this was a loss for us. Game 2 came and we know in order to stay alive in the series, Game 2 was a must win. It seemed that the Fuse Kids were going to go and win this game as they started off by winning the first 3 rounds straight. However, we managed to reverse the sweep and make it 5-3 in our favour after Csgo and Brody clutched up and closed the round for us. We managed to keep this going all the way up to round 15. Round 14 was a win for us, giving us a lead of 11-3, being ahead by 9 rounds. The Fuse managed to close the gap to only being down to 5 rounds, but we were still able to get a win with a dominant 4-1 players, only having one man down, making the series a tie, which was a great response, forcing a tie-breaking series in order to make the final. So it all came down to this, Game 3. Game 3 was close, but however in round 29, Game 3 was close, but after only having pistols in round 29, the match point round for Defuse, we knew it was time, as Defuse kids were our top team and it would take a crazy miracle for us to win with pistols. And as expected, we did lose, ended up losing 16-13, but the run wasn't over because we still had our chance in the losers bracket, but we went straight to the losers bracket final. After losing to Defuse, our life in the tournament was still alive, being on our last chance, with Cyber Legacy and Tricked Esport playing in the previous loser bracket round. The winner was going to play against us. As a result, Cyber did manage to beat Tricked, and we would then be playing again for the second time in the tournament, with this time however being the losers finals. Already beating them in the winners bracket before, we unfortunately lost this time. However, this was way more vital due to both teams being in their last chance in the losers bracket. We lost the series 2-1, however this was still a breathtaking series as we showed determination in Game 2 after losing Game 1, being down in the series again. Csgo pulled a heavy ace, giving us a match point game. We did close out. It was great and everyone was behind him. The casters were going off, the chat was going off, everything. After his performance that round, that was a great representation of how well he had played all weekend, and this was easily the best highlight of them all. Game 3 we were tired after all those extra games we had to make up after being down constantly in previous series and even in this series. We ended up finishing third, taking home some cash after being seeded 16th, as in last place. This was a great performance from the team and a real underdog story coming to end well. The team will always be continuing to learn and improve. The grind doesn't stop, and with great pleasure, that was our CSGO Fight Night weekend. The Underdogs did rise. Your boy Adrian Icon on behalf of Nerdrage signing out. Peace. Until next time.